Dr. Bridget Msomba Malewezi, a public health specialist, medical doctor, and also a Harvard Lead Fellow for the third cohort from 2021 to 2022. So the first video I did was just to explain about this opportunity to become a Harvard Lead Fellow for Women in Global Health. And this second video is explaining some of the requirements of getting into the program in terms of the application process. If you're interested, watch the first video because I explained a little bit about details about the eligibility criteria. This second video is going into how to apply. Now, if you're watching this video now, you're probably a little bit behind on time, but still good to go. So hopefully you can catch up. There's quite a number of things to do. None of it is too much, and it's actually the application process is not too difficult. So if you've watched the first video and decided that yes, I want to be a Harvard Lead Fellow for the upcoming cohort, which is 2022 to 2023, and you heard the video and thought you fit in some of the eligibility criteria, then this is the process that I wanted to help you through in terms of getting yourself prepared, what you need to have prepared to apply. So the admission application is online. So the initial process is just getting all your documents in place for this online application. It's a simple page, it's one page, but there's a lot of documents to upload. So you need to start preparing those. So I've spoken to a number of women who've reached out across the globe trying to understand what is required. And the first advice I give to them is once you've heard the eligibility criteria, click on the apply button to decide whether you're to understand all the requirements. What I'll do now is just give you a broad overview. In the application document itself, it gives you an explanation of what each one of those is required, what questions you need to be answering, and so forth. So ideally, you need to have all of these things in place because it does play into the role of what you need to do. So firstly, as I said, just as a quick recap, this is a fellowship that will be starting in August of this coming year. It's a one-year fellowship, and it's a leadership fellowship for women in global health who have leadership capacity. Sorry for all the noise in the background, but it's a leadership fellowship, and you will do it virtually for the first part of the time. So from August or September to 2022 to December, you're doing virtually and getting yourself prepared, doing some coaching. And then the second part, which is from like January to May, you're doing in person. So again, you'll be going to Harvard. Hopefully for you guys, you'll be able to do that. For our cohort, we're not able to. And then you're doing a lot of things focused on your capacity, building your capacity, as well as developing yourself as a leader. So that's part of the things that we're doing in terms of those people who feel that they're ready and prepared to do so. And so in terms of the application itself, once you click the button, if you go to the link, I'll share the link in the bottom. If you feel that you're eligible, click on the button, apply, and then you will see that it's just one single document. You write your name and a little bit of your background, but there's about 8 things that you have to upload. So I'm going to go through those quickly for you so that you prepare, because there's quite a number of essays, and the essays take a little bit of time, so you need to prepare yourself in terms of getting those done. So ideally, firstly, the first thing you need to do is upload your CV. Make sure your CV is highlighting your leadership capacity, adjust it to show all your leadership potential, whatever you're doing. Again, just to re-emphasize that the fellowship is open to any field and cadre in global health. So it is whether you're in research or academics or service delivery, whatever you're doing in global health is acceptable. But as you're applying for your CV, just highlight your leadership capacity. Second thing you need to have is a letter of from your institution where you're working. Again, just as a reminder, this is a leadership fellowship, so you're not meant to quit your job and go to this fellowship. Ideally, it's meant to build your capacity for whatever role you're doing so that you can go to the next level, whether it's management or other aspects. So again, you would need that letter from the institution, one, that say that they support you to do this, and two, because you have to take that leave of absence for about 5 months. So again, just making sure that to show that your institution has approved. You also need to get a mentor from within your organization, wherever you work, that will support you and provide supervision for your work. Again, as I mentioned, that it's a hybrid. It starts virtual and then goes in person. So there is some need for your in-person, within your institution, to identify a mentor. This can be your supervisor or somebody in your organization who'll be sort of supervising some of your work that you need to do. You need to have a letter of intent. So these are the series of essays that you will be developing. a letter of intent that sort of just explains why you want to be part of the program, what you hope to benefit from it, what you hope to contribute, and so forth. So that's the first essay that you need to do. You also need to think through what is your career development. So the second essay that you need to do is about your career development, just to share about how you think the fellowship itself will develop you. And again, because you will be taking on courses in the second part during the spring semester from January to May. So just to think through, and you don't have to have like all the courses listed out, but you do need to have an idea of like, I want to do communication, so I'm interested in doing like executive leadership courses and so forth. So just a general scope to show why this fellowship is in line with your career development. Then the other aspect is a project. So you need to have a project in mind in terms of what project you will do for this fellowship. The project itself can be done in your home country, wherever you're coming from, and you, depending on what it is, it can be timed and so forth. So it be timeline, and it's not restricted to just the time of the project. So again, you can think through what is sensible in terms of doing a project, and it can be, it doesn't have to be discovery science. It can be implementation or follow-up, whatever it is, especially if it's aligned to your work. I think that makes it easier for you to develop that. Mentorship plans. So how do you intend to mentor other women? Again, because you're becoming a leader, the idea for being a leader is how you mentor other people. So again, you can develop talking about how you, whether it's within your organization, in your personal capacity, how you intend to mentor other people. And then finally, also a letter of how this program will impact yourself, your organization, and your country. Remember, we're talking about leaders in health, so you need to be able to talk about, if I take on this program, I'm going to have, once I've come back, it will impact X, Y, and Z in my country or in my organization, and so forth. So sort of personal impact as well as for your organization and your country. One of the other key things that you need to do as well is to submit 2 references, letters of recommendations. Those letters don't come through you, they will go direct to Harvard. So again, you need to identify 2 people that will be your references, that will speak highly of your leadership capacity. I cannot emphasize this enough, because it's a leadership fellowship, then you need to have somebody who will be able to speak strongly about your leadership capacity. So those are the requirements. As I've said, it's quite a number of them, but you can organize them and prepare. And once you prepared, it's probably easy to put them all together and submit them. Again, the deadline for this cohort is 25th of April. We're a little bit behind of time, but if I can give you any advice, is to get those letters, the references going. The essays, you could probably do them by yourself, because that's self-determined, but try to get that letter, try to engage your institution, try to identify those references and start working on those, because those depend on other people. So those are easier for you to miss out on if when you're rushing towards the deadline. So for anybody who is interested, a lot of us cohort fellows are available to support. So if you've got any questions or need any support as you prepare for your application, reach out and we're available to support you. Look forward for all of you who want to join the Harvard Lead Fellowship, and all the best. Thank you.